If today's XRP price activity has not convinced you that there is a concerted effort to use the psychology of the market and AI robots to remove retail from the XRP market, it's going to be very difficult for me to prove it any further. But I'm still going to talk about it.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK. We'll talk about it. Yes, the XRP ETF launched today, November 13th, with $26 million in the first 30 minutes. XRPC, which is Canary Capital's spot ETF, hit over $25 million in trading within 30 minutes of the launch, marking one of the strongest debuts in the crypto ETF market. That definitely tells us that there is a strong interest brewing for XRP ETPs, XRP ETF products, and we know there's many more that are going to be launched. However, you have to wonder, how can such a wonderful response have this kind of impact on the price? And in fact, the price closed lower than it started the day. Here is the marker for the 13th, beginning of the day. And look what has happened to the price of XRP up until this hour. Is currently just after 4 p.m., the Central Standard Time of the United States. That's what happened to the price. But in our videos here, we've been expressing how you cannot expect what everyone's expecting. And if you do expect what everyone's expecting, you're probably wrong. Did you know, and I've said it in one of my prior videos, that when ProShares launched the first ever Bitcoin linked ETF product back in October of 2021, something very similar happened to the price of Bitcoin when they released the ProShares Bitcoin linked ETF. And if you like the content I'm providing, please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, and then come back for more DK Will Talk About It. And this chart shows the 18th of October. It was released on the 19th of October 2021. And look what happened to the price up until March of 2024. Did it even gain back what it lost? And so we have to ask ourselves, when looking at this type of action, what is going on? When you look at the BitTo chart, the price of the ProShares ETF is at $15.34 today, despite the fact that when you look at the Bitcoin price, it launched at around 60 some thousand dollars, and right now it's roughly, we'll just say for simplicity, around $100,000. So if it's linked to Bitcoin and Bitcoin has seen such a remarkable increase in price, why in the world is the ETF down in price? Who benefited from that increase in price? Because when the Bitcoin ETF came out in October of 2021, it was $42. You see here? And now it's only $15. That's why you probably should listen to the Paradigm Whisperer about what to anticipate in these markets. This article here covers how the XRP ETF approval triggers market excitement, as 7 more launches are going to roll out in the next 12 days. Now, as those 7 roll out, you can look at the Canary ETF as the sacrificial lamb in this case. It launches first, and the price of XRP goes down. And then that way, all these other ones that are waiting to launch, as well as Canary themselves, can continue to scoop up the XRP at low prices, while at the same time shaking out the retail who does not have the stomach, the fortitude, and in many cases are not informed enough to know that this is just the gyrations, to make sure that if you finally end up at the end of this road, you weren't lucky. You earned it.
I think that market is close to a bottom. It's hard to find a crypto native investor who still has much enthusiasm for the market. I think the market is shifting into an institutionally driven market. And interestingly, that market is still bullish. When I go out and speak to institutions or financial advisors, they're still excited to allocate to an asset class that, if you pan back and look over the course of a year, is still delivering very strong returns. So my view of the market is we have to get through this retail flush out. We have to hit bottom from a sentiment perspective. And then I'm optimistic that we rally into the end of the year and into 2026 as the institutional investors start to drive the market forward. So I'm optimistic, but we do have to finish this washout of retail sentiment. And again, I think we're closer to the end of that.
And so keep earning it, because the work ain't over yet. As we saw, there's 7 more launches are going to roll out in the next 12 days. It says for the first time, spot XRP ETFs, which hold real XRP, that's a key, they hold it, you don't, instead of derivatives or futures, will be available to both retail and institutional investors. Do institutional investors buy high, or do they buy low? That's something to recall and remember. Because I'm whispering to your paradigm, because this isn't over yet. Now, yes, it will eventually rise up to a crescendo, but it might take a little while. So in the meantime, we saw the November 13th release of the Canary Capital. Franklin Templeton's coming on the 18th. Bitwise is coming between the 19th and the 20th. 21 shares is coming the 20th to the 22nd. And that right there, the 22nd, is a cutoff period where some of the games will cease. There's a video about that. Look for the cards. Then we have Grayscale coming in on the 25th. Why is Grayscale coming in on the 25th? Well, they're on the New York Stock Exchange, and Grayscale is the largest crypto asset investment firm out there. The rest of them are getting on board. And then we have Wisdom Tree also on the 25th. So as this battle goes on, just remember, let me whisper to your paradigm a little bit, because the way people are thinking needs to change, and I can't change your thinking. I can only whisper to your paradigm and help you see things maybe a little differently. You think I'm blowing smoke at you? I showed you Bitcoin. Well, what happened when the Solana ETF was released? Well, as you can see, here's the Bitwise Solana staking ETF that was launched on October 28th, trading at 1868. But when you look at the chart, here is October 28th, starting right here. And look what happened to the price. It didn't go up. It went steadily down, never cresting where it started. What happened to the Solana price? The exact same thing. That blue line right there, that's the 28th of October. And look what happened to the Solana price. So are we surprised really that the price of XRP? I would have been more surprised if it really blew up, but it didn't. So the ETF was released. Superb showing. The best. There's more coming down the chute here in 7 days. So what can we expect? If you want me to whisper to your paradigm, be still. Get your gorilla grip and wait for your target. When your target comes, if it's reasonable, take it. You see, because pigs eat and hogs get slaughtered. At least take however much money you have invested in XRP plus a profit out. And as long as it doesn't take the full percentage of your portfolio, you're in great shape. Now you have to determine yourself based on your holdings how many you'll let go to get your money back. Will you let 10% of what you hold go, 25% of what you hold go, 50% of what you hold go to get your money back, plus an appreciable profit, like maybe 20% to 25% at least? Then that's what you should do. And so while they're shaking and jiving with the prices of things on us, just chill. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. And I talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.